folks from doing just that. Wherever you are on this morning, we hope you're staying warm today. Welcome into Fox 10 Midday. Happy Tuesday. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
I'm meteorologist Nicholas Rabosa. We're keeping you updated on the cold weather situation. It is still cold out there right now.
Yeah.
It's not as bad.
Okay.
We're improving.
Okay.
The wind is a huge improvement.
Right.
It was a little breezy early this morning, but the wind's really relaxing, and that is a savior because it makes such a huge difference between a temperature of 32 degrees feeling like 20
Absolutely.
versus a temperature of 32 degrees that feels like 32 degrees. And that's what we have right now. We're a little closer with our feels like temperatures. Looking outside, you see our numbers. D'Iberville's all the way up to 40. Orange Beach is all the way up to 41. So some really good, significant improvements there with our temperatures. 37 in Mobile. The Navigator Credit Union camera, you're looking towards the causeway. Looks fine. Looks great right now. The water level's a little low in the bay. The impressive view there from Dolphins as you see a big ship that is going through the river right now. Cool view there. Love these camera views from our live cameras that we have. Right now, temperatures, this is 35 degrees in Grove Hill, above freezing in Monroeville at 35, 34 in Bay Minette, 37 in Mobile, and 41 in Gulf Shores. This afternoon, temperatures top out in the upper 40s for many locations. Some locations could get all the way up to around 50 degrees. 50 degrees in Pascagoula, 49 Mobile, 49 in Pensacola, 48 in Molino. 50, though, in Milton and in Crestview. Your next 10 hours show those temperatures not getting super high, but this evening with light winds, 30s. Not as bad as it could be. We'll have a couple clouds that roll in here. Pensacola, similar numbers here. 40 degrees at 7 p.m. But looking ahead to tonight, we have temperatures back into the 20s. It's not a hard freeze. It's a lighter freeze. And eventually, the morning temperatures go above freezing by Friday morning. Friday morning, 37 degrees. We could have a couple rain showers by the middle of the day. But whoa, look at that weekend. Weekend looks extremely cold with 20 and 17 for our morning lows. Our next system pushes through on Friday with that small rain chance, and then the temperatures really go down for this weekend. We have a lot to talk about in this forecast. Highly recommend that you follow the team on social media. Just search up our names on social media and be able to find us. We're posting updates about an active forecast this weekend with some extremely cold air. It's your early storm tracker alert. I'll have the heads up coming up.
Good to know, Nick. Thank you. 27 Baldwin EMC workers left Summerdale just this morning to help people in Mississippi impacted by that ice storm. In fact, they'll be teaming up with the Northeast Mississippi Electric Power Association. Fox 10's Stephen Moody was there this morning as crews rolled out into the freezing temperatures, and he has much more on the work they'll be doing there.
Crews here with the Baldwin EMC in Summerdale left early this morning, headed to Oxford as they look to assist the still thousands of people without power following that severe weather there earlier this week. We spoke to them about their journey and what they have planned when they get there.
The Baldwin EMC's coming. We're heading your way today.
Help is on the way for the thousands of people in Oxford still without power, thanks to a combination of snow and ice. And as they navigate through the conditions, Baldwin EMC plans to do so safely and efficiently.
The very top tier is safety. You can't sacrifice safety for production. Like, it's just, you can't do it. And working in frozen conditions just elevates everything. You got to take it as it comes.
Efficiency is the main key. Teamwork. Whenever we go in front of the linemen, they'll come in, ground everything out for us, and that's when we go in and clear the way so they can come in, set poles, pull wire, and get the members turned back on.
And they'll face problems that we're maybe not used to here in our area of the Gulf Coast.
I think one of the biggest concerns we'll have on this is usually the trees. Trees do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it. When ice starts melting and refreezing, there's nothing you can do about it.
And when asked about why this is important, they said they'd never hesitate to lend a helping hand, especially since they know that others would do the same for us.
You know, in times like this, I've seen what happens when we have hurricanes here and the amount of assistance and help that we get throughout the whole process. And to have sister co-ops that can come in and lend a helping hand. Many hands make light work, so it just helps things go a lot smoother.
And we're expected to have updates throughout the day as they make their trip there. We'll have more coming up, but for now, reporting here in Summerdale, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, Stephen, thank you. And again, temperatures are just plunging across the country today as millions of Americans dig out from the weekend's major winter storm. More than 24 people were killed before the system moved off the East Coast, and officials are urging folks to be careful as the frigid cold now turns snow into ice. Across the South, hundreds of thousands are left without power and heat after freezing rain snapped tree limbs and power lines. Right now, utility crews are working around the clock to restore service, but say road conditions are impacting recovery efforts. And then in the Northeast, plows continue to take care of the snow. Boston received more than 20 inches of snow, while Philadelphia saw almost 10, the most in a decade.
It wasn't so bad, but it was slushy for a while.
Yeah.
But a lot of people shoveled.
And the travel headaches only continue. More than 2,500 flights were already delayed or canceled early Tuesday, though the FAA says service should be back to normal by tomorrow. And in global news now, a landslide is threatening a town in Sicily, forcing evacuations there. This aerial footage shows the massive landslide in the town of Nishimi 2 days after it happened. We're told more than 1,500 people have been told to leave their homes as the landslide continues to spread. Officials say it was probably triggered by severe weather that battered the region last week. Sicily's government declaring a state of emergency yesterday for southern regions that suffered storm-related damage. First Canada, now South Korea. The tariff threats keep coming as President Trump's trade war intensifies once again. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more now from Washington.
The tariff war is heating up once again. A day after threatening Canada with 100% tariffs, President Trump announced he's raising tariffs on South Korea to 25%, writing on social media, quote, South Korea's legislature is not living up to its deal with the United States. Last year, Seoul agreed to invest $350 billion in the U.S. in exchange for tariff relief, but lawmakers still have to approve the deal, and the White House claims they're dragging their feet.
그리고 또 South Korea has to prevent damage to its companies, which gives it a strong incentive to enter negotiations with real urgency and a sense of necessity.
Meanwhile, Canada is pushing back against the new tariff threat, which started when President Trump claimed China and Canada are close to a free trade agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says that's simply not true.
What we've done with China is to rectify some issues that developed in the last couple of years. In many respects, we're going, to use the expression, back to the future.
The U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement is up for review this year, and President Trump says he might not renew it without significant changes. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Also today, India and the European Union reach a landmark free trade deal after nearly 2 decades of negotiations. Leaders from both sides signed a declaration in New Delhi just this morning. The deal will allow free trade of goods between the bloc of 27 European states and the world's most populous country, and will include a number of huge tariff cuts across a range of goods and services, as well as a joint security partnership. The accord, dubbed the mother of all deals, could impact as many as 2 billion people.
Today is a historic moment. We are opening a new chapter in our relations on trade, on security, on people-to-people ties.
And India's trade ministry said the EU will cut tariffs on more than 90% of goods traded over 7 years, and India will immediately cut tariffs on alcoholic drinks like wine from 150% to 75%. Well, listen to this. A school volunteer charged with sexually abusing 2 special needs students gave up his right to a preliminary hearing this morning. James Edwards Williams is charged with 7 counts of child sex abuse of a victim younger than 12. The investigation began with a report from a 10-year-old girl with special needs at Ella Grant Elementary School that Williams had inappropriately touched her. Defense attorney Christine Hernandez tells Fox 10 News she agreed to waive the hearing when prosecutors turned over all of the evidence. She says based on her investigation, she doesn't think the charges are valid. In the meantime, another defendant in the Pritchard Water case pleading guilty. Steve Jones is one of 3 contractors charged in this case. Jones pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit mail, bank, and wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, bank fraud, and tax fraud. Well, he admitted billing for work he never did, then paying kickbacks to utility supervisors Nia Bradley and Randy Burden. Prosecutors say Bradley was the mastermind behind the scheme, and the judge set his sentencing for May. In the meantime, Nia Bradley is expected back in court this Friday. And new today, 18-year-old Juarez Lucas surrenders to police in connection with a December robbery. She was wanted for questioning in the incident where a girl's purse and phone were stolen. Lucas was then booked and charged with second-degree robbery, and she's since been released on a $7,500 bond. Meanwhile, police are still looking for 18-year-old Jasmine McReynolds, wanted for questioning related to the same incident. If you have any information about this case, you're urged to call Mobile Police. And a major development in a decade-old missing person case in Niceville, Florida. Investigators identifying skeletal remains and connecting it to the case. The remains belong to Jacob Lyon. He was 19 years old when his mother reported him missing back in February of 2016. In fact, she'd not seen him for about 3 months. Niceville police received more than 20 tips that led to searches across the area and in nearby states. Unfortunately, though, those leads went nowhere. In October 2022, though, someone found skeletal remains in the Miramar Beach area. They then called the Walton County Sheriff's Office, and last week, DNA testing confirmed the remains belonged to Jacob himself. Investigators say they are glad to give the family some sort of closure, but this is still a very active investigation.
This is not by all means the end of an investigation, but it's the furtherance and the start of another investigation. So we have the death investigation now that's ongoing to really make sure that we get some more answers. There's no question, and I mentioned this to Jacob's mother earlier, no question that this is not a positive thing, but there is some positive to it because now we have something that we can utilize from evidence to identify possibly what happened with Jacob.
And if you have any information about this case, you are asked to contact Niceville Police or the Walton County Sheriff's Office. It's 11:12 on your Tuesday. Coming up on Fox 10 midday, the Sheriff's Showdown Pickleball Tournament is quickly approaching. We'll have all the details for you in a live conversation after this. And Nick, hopefully the weather is a little warmer than today for that tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yesterday was terrible and today is cold, but we are seeing improvement. But this weekend, we go right back into the freezer. And Friday evening, we have the Conde Cavaliers, the first Mardi Gras parade in Mobile of the season. 42 degrees with blustery conditions and a north wind at 20 miles per hour. And that Senior Bowl forecast, temperatures in the 30s with feels like temperatures maybe in the 20s. That's how cold we're talking for this weekend. The details coming up.
Or Coastal, just $6.95. A great selection of dining sets on sale now, only.
Welcome back. A fun event is happening next month in Baldwin County. The Sheriff's Showdown, presented by OWA, brings our community together for a day of fun, friendly competition, and of course, giving back. All proceeds support the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office Foundation. And here to talk all about it is Baldwin County Deputy Lacey Wolf, Kathy Sternenberg with OWA, and Mike Thompson with USA Pickleball. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so obviously super excited about this, partly yes, because I'm playing in the tournament, but more than that, this benefits a great cause. So starting with you, Lacey, talk a little bit about it as a whole.
All right. Well, the foundation really exists to support the mission of the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office through a bunch of programs and initiatives like Project Lifesaver, our Shining Star camps, school resource programs, and educational initiatives. We support the Alabama Sheriff's Youth ranches, Baldwin County Sheriff's Boys Ranch. We also do community events like Sheriff Taylor Wilkins Memorial Golf Tournament, bike rodeo. We do safety days, drug education awareness, but it also helps employees too in the time of need, like if someone suffers a medical emergency or procedure, or if they maybe have a home fire, or maybe they lost a family member and need to travel out of state. It also helps dependents of employees with scholarship opportunities. And then every year during the holiday, we have a fantastic day of our family day and pheasant hunt.
So this is obviously such an important event for you guys because you guys are boots on the ground truly in the community. And I know this is all taking place at OWA. You all have some beautiful courts. Kathy, talk about your role in the tournament.
Okay, so OWA is the presenting sponsor for the tournament. And the fun thing is we're offering, we're going to have the Arts and Crafts Festival at the same time this year. So Buggy Works, one of our sponsors, will be transporting the players and their families back and forth to downtown OWA. So we're looking forward to a great weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good. So a little bit of something for everyone if pickleball maybe isn't their thing. But if it is, Mike, you're a familiar face here on Fox 10.
Yes.
You organize a lot of tournaments in the community.
Yes, we do.
Yes. What makes this one so special?
This one's very special, of course, because it's for the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office Foundation, number one. This is a USA Pickleball sanctioned tournament, so we're bringing in some really good players like yourself, which we love seeing at the tournaments. Yes, trust me.
Still getting ready, guys.
Yeah.
He talks highly of you.
Yes. And then the City of Foley is our partner in this also, so it's at the brand new 12 courts at the outdoor complex and next to the Coastal Alabama Farmers and Fishermen's Market. And then, of course, Diadem always supports everything we do. So from paddles, balls to whatever, they are a big part of this tournament. And they're also coming in the day before the tournament and providing us with a gigantic demo day of all the paddles, balls, shoes, anything that Diadem, provides the pickleball player will be out there for everyone to experience.
That's incredible. And you brought some of those prizes possibly that are on the line. Did you do this because I'm here today?
The only reason because you're here.
That's a nice paddle.
Trust me. We weren't expecting to take any of this back with us.
No, I love it. So what are some of those prizes really quickly before we're done?
Yeah, so for anything from shirts, paddles, then of course we have a lot of sponsors involved that we're going to be contributing a lot of swag to the players' swag bags. So there's a win-win for everybody. You might not walk away with a trophy at this tournament, but you're going to walk away with something from discount, swag, things of that nature. It's super, super player friendly.
Very good. Well, listen, I know we're running short on time today. We did have that information on our screen for folks who do want to sign up, and we'll have that on our website, fox10tv.com, in just a few minutes. Thank you all for being here, and I'm getting warmed up, okay?
Yeah, you better bring it.
All right, Nick.
Thanks, guys. 11:20 is your time now. How about heading down to Pensacola Beach? Just a couple folks walking out there, and it is frigid. I mean, you have to be in full coats to be walking outside today. The lifeguard truck's on the beach there. That's a pristine blue view. Amazing stuff there, but it's just very, very cold. Here's the next 5 hours for you as we warm up a little bit here on the Gulf Coast. Eventually, your temperature's getting close to 50 degrees this afternoon. 44 degrees at 1 p.m. in Mobile, 47 and 48 degrees at 3 and 4 p.m. there. Then for Pensacola, the numbers show temperatures in the 40s here, 48 degrees at 3 p.m. under a sunny sky. Your afternoon forecast highs on your Tuesday get us up close to 50 degrees in some locations, 50 in Crestview, 50 in Navarre, 50 in Milton. We have 47 degrees for our afternoon high in Evergreen, 49 in Mobile, 46 in Grove Hill. The wind is not as strong today. Great news, because that means the wind chill is not bad this afternoon. And with that sunshine, if you're sitting out in the sunshine, it does not feel as cold as it did yesterday. If you're in the shade, it does still feel quite chilly. Overnight tonight, we see temperatures not falling as far. We get down to freezing again. By 5 a.m. we're at 32 degrees. We'll have some clouds around overnight tonight. Here are those forecast lows. Plenty of 20s on the board. Eventually we get to 28 degrees in Mobile, 30 degrees in Pensacola, 27 in Crestview, 28 Milton, 28 in Evergreen, and 28 and 27 for Grove Hill and Monroeville. So another cold night is ahead, and trust me, these cold nights are not going anywhere, but it is a slight improvement. The weather headlines for us here on our Tuesday. It's a cold Tuesday afternoon. Chilly temperatures lasting all week, with another Arctic blast bringing us some serious cold weather this weekend, just in time for plenty of weekend events. Freezing temperatures all week, pretty much the only only morning temperature that you see that is not above freezing here is on Friday. Friday is 37 degrees, but look at the weekend. Saturday, 20 for a morning low. Sunday, 17 degrees in Mobile. That is one of the lowest numbers that we have put on the board in a very, very long time. Then eventually you see 25 and 29 by Monday and Tuesday. Here's what's happening. Another Arctic blast is on the way. You can see it brewing over the Great Lakes there. Later on this week into the weekend, the cold air plunges south. In fact, the rain-snow line, which is an often used thing, goes all the way down to central Florida. Now, we're not going to see any winter precipitation. There's not much precipitation with this system, but it's just to show how cold the air is going to be aloft and at the surface as we get into this weekend. This will come with a low pressure system that works somewhere near our area. There's a little uncertainty with this. You see the possibility of maybe a rain shower or two on Friday before this passes and goes off to the east. And once the system is off the east coast, I noticed that rain-snow line gets all the way down to central Florida, and there's probably going to be some snow showers off the east coast. Eventually, you get a big low-pressure system that develops and moves up the east coast while we locally deal with northwesterly wind and cold air this weekend. So our Storm Tracker Alert Day for this morning, it is wrapping up. We are about to end the Storm Tracker Alert Day. We're going to return to a more normal cold pattern here as we go through the month, end of the month here. Then Senior Bowl Saturday, the cold weather is back, and it is back hard. High of only 35 degrees on Saturday. Sunday is at 17 for the morning temperature. So gear up. This is your early Storm Tracker Alert for some very cold temperatures this weekend.
All right, Nick, thank you. It's 11:24 now on your Tuesday. Coming up, jury selection began this morning in a case over whether social media platforms are addictive and harmful to young users. This story and much more on the other side of the break.
Get you more. Don't hesitate. Call Dean Wade, 265-1000.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday this morning. For years now, we've heard parents, educators, and lawmakers warn social media is too addictive and harmful for teens. Now a jury in California will decide as a landmark trial against social media giants Meta and Google starts today. Fox's Rebecca Castor previews what's at stake.
Scrolling social media apps like Instagram and TikTok for hours is routine for many U.S. teens. But what's behind the seeming addiction to these platforms? According to a bombshell lawsuit, it's the social media companies who are to blame for intentionally designing apps to hook young users.
That's their business model. The more time people spend on it, the more money they make.
Psychology experts say the evidence is there. And in this case, a 19-year-old girl says the app's addictive features harmed her mental health throughout her childhood, leading to depression and suicidal thoughts. She's putting Meta and Google on trial in the first of several high-profile cases against social media companies this year, drawing comparisons to lawsuits against Big Tobacco in the 90s.
Just as we have done with regulating alcohol and tobacco, we can do so with technology too.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, are expected to testify. And Meta's legal team tells Fox Business this lawsuit is motivated by money, and they're standing behind recent updates to their platforms like teen accounts, which have more features to protect young users.
Causation is going to be huge here, right? That's what the tech companies are going to lead with. They're going to say, look, anxiety, depression, the like, that could be caused by a whole number of things.
Snapchat and TikTok were initially named in the lawsuit, but settled. The trial could last 6 to 8 weeks, and if the jury rules against the tech companies, it could lead to a wave of more lawsuits. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Still to come right here on Fox 10 Midday, a Baldwin County trash can ends up on the other side of the pond. How officials believe it got there coming up. But first, a Southwest staple is coming to an end today, and we will have the details in your business headlines. You're watching Fox 10 Midday. We'll be right back.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, a single missing signature leaves a grieving daughter in limbo after her mother's death.
We also are being held responsible for figuring out how to get it and how to get this legal document signed.
We uncover why it took months to get her mother's death certificate and examine a national problem contributing to the delay.
You don't pay unless we win.
Come to fight one for committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in. It's time for your half-hour headlines on this Tuesday. First, a federal judge in Minnesota has ordered acting ICE Director Todd Lyons to appear in court on Friday. Judge Patrick Schultz is threatening to hold him in contempt for violating a court order. Well, that order required ICE to provide a detained man with a bond hearing within 7 days or release him. And as of Friday, that man was still in detention with no hearing. Schultz wrote in a court filing on Monday his patience is at an end. And then the Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents will go to Italy for the Olympics. A DHS spokesperson says they'll be in a security role. They won't enforce U.S. immigration laws since they'll be in a foreign country. Current and former Italian lawmakers are urging the prime minister to bar the agents, though. They point to the recent deadly ICE shootings of 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis. DHS argues the agents were acting in self-defense in both cases, though critics disagree. And finally, tech giant Google has agreed to pay $68 million to settle a lawsuit claiming its voice assistant was eavesdropping on users. The lawsuit stems from several Google device owners who say their conversations were being recorded by the smart home tech without their knowledge or use of the activation phrase, "Hey Google." This includes their private remarks about financial issues and employment, but Google denies all wrongdoing and reportedly settled to avoid the risk of litigation. In your business news now, the first Fed meeting of the year kicks off. Investors stand by for big tech data. Nike is cutting jobs, and Southwest's open seating era comes to an end. Here's Fox's CJ Papa with today's Fox Business Briefs.
The Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting begins today. The central bank widely expected to keep rates the same after cutting at the last 3 meetings. Big tech earnings this week from Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, and Apple. Investors watching for signs of AI-driven profit growth and whether results can help restore momentum after a stretch of underperformance in some tech names.
Cloud bookings look to still be robust for Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, and digital ad spending's good. Layer on top of that, of course, is AI and the opportunities there in terms of generating future business.
Nike is laying off about 775 workers as it ramps up its use of advanced tech and automation, part of its broad turnaround strategy. The cuts will primarily affect workers at its distribution centers across Tennessee and Mississippi, amounting to about 1% of its overall workforce. And Southwest is officially ending its open seat policy. The airline will now have seat assignments. The boarding system will shift to a new model that uses Groups 1 through 8. The company will now also require customers of size who cannot fit between armrests to purchase additional seats in advance. CJ Papa, Fox News.
A new trend is on the rise with shoppers. Many are turning to secondhand stores to scoop up some deals. Our Sarah Wall is taking a look at what's causing shoppers to change routines, how that's changing the dynamic in retail, and how shopping secondhand can actually really help our communities. In Depth with Sarah Wall, New Shopping Trends is available right now. You can find it on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. It's 11:35 now. We have a Fox 10 safety alert this morning. The FDA says Keurig is recalling about 1,000 cartons of K-Cups. They're labeled McCafe, premium roast decaf coffee, but the FDA says the pods might contain caffeine. The affected cartons contain 84 K-Cups and have a best by date of November 17th of this year, so something to look out for.
.36 is your time. The Fairhope Pier, the wind is not as strong. Good news for those that don't want to deal with a tough wind chill. It's beautifully clear out there, though. Love to see that. Grab your jackets as you're heading out the door. Cool Tuesday afternoon is ahead. We'll have temperatures that top out around 50 degrees. Many folks staying in the 40s. Chilly temperatures all week this week. In fact, we're going to be down back in the freezer this weekend with another significant Arctic blast heading our way. This is the 7-day outlook for freezing temperatures in the mornings. The only morning that is above freezing that we have in the forecast, Friday morning. Friday, a system rolls through with a slight chance of rain showers, and then that system passes, cold front rolls through, and boom. We're back down to around 20 degrees on Saturday morning, and then Sunday morning is at 17 degrees. Here's how this looks on the big forecast map. Trough of the eastern United States. Anytime you have that, you typically have colder air somewhere in that trough, and that's exactly what we see. But we get a dip in the jet stream and another push of cold air. This is Arctic air that comes down from Canada. You see that core of pink there. It goes all the way down to Florida with some very, very cold air aloft and also cold air at the surface, and that is right over us for this weekend, and it is going to be a really, really cold period. Futurecast shows a system rolling through here on Friday with a slight chance of some rain showers. Not super concerned about any wintry precipitation. It looks like the timing will be chance of rain comes first, then we dry out quickly, then the cold air comes in, and the cold air forces in. I want you to watch this. I want you to watch on the back side of this screen here and look how over the Gulf and over the Atlantic it actually changes over to snow. So watch this. Boom. And you see those little pinks and blues there? That is the rain snow line diving all the way down south to central Florida. Now, will we have enough moisture to see anything over there? Doesn't seem super likely, but that's how deep and cold this cold blast is. A huge low pressure system develops off the East Coast. We're in high pressure, northerly wind, and very cold temperatures for the weekend. So go ahead and mark your calendars for some very cold weather. In the meantime, it's chilly right now, but temperatures are eventually getting up into the upper 40s this afternoon. Nice views from our live cameras. Temperatures as you're stepping outside, 37 degrees in Monroeville, 35 in Evergreen, 37 in Mobile. Here's your out the door forecast, mainly sunny skies. To grab those sunglasses, there's 48 degrees at 3 p.m. Also notice those winds quite a bit lighter this evening if you have plans to be outside. You're going to notice increasing cloud cover. We have an upper level trough that's coming through overnight tonight. So on the leading edge of that upper level trough, we'll get some cloud cover. And you'll notice that with increasing clouds, temperatures in the 30s, that will mean temperatures don't plummet overnight tonight. They just get cold. 27 degrees in Monroeville, 29 in Mobile, 30 in Pensacola. Futurecast shows a quiet picture for now with clouds rolling in later on here. This is 3 a.m. on Wednesday, and whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? There's a little bit of precip getting picked up on the forecast model overnight tonight, the HRRR. We trust this forecast model. It is a very good forecast model, and it shows that in some of that precip, we could see a couple of, and I say a couple of flakes that try to squeeze out as this upper trough passes through tomorrow morning, very, very early. I don't think it's super likely, and no, we're not going to see anything of note, but just keep an eye out maybe tomorrow morning as those clouds are passing through. By the afternoon, we're all done with it, and we're returning to clear skies. So here's that 7-day outlook. Again, cold weather for now. Storm Tracker alert day is ending, and we're getting to temperatures in the 50s by the middle of the week with another cold blast this weekend.
All right, Nick, thank you. And as those temperatures drop, keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't always mean having to crank up the heat. So here are some budget-friendly ways to stay warm right inside your home during this cold spell. First, you want to roll up sheets or towels by placing them along drafty doors, even windowsills, to prevent cold air from entering. I did this last night, and it did help. And you can also open your shades during the day and let that sunlight naturally warm your home. Close them at night, though, to insulate against the cold. You can also set your ceiling fans to rotate clockwise at a lower speed to drive warm air downward towards you. I feel like a lot of people forget about that one. And also place area rugs throughout your home to block cool air from seeping up into your rooms and stay warm. Well, this is a story. A piece of South Alabama washes ashore nearly 4,000 miles away from home.
It was just laid up against the breakwater, people walking past it, not really taking much notice. And then I saw what it was saying on the side of it with the Alabama written on it, and I thought, wow, that's come a long way.
Yeah, a long way indeed. Ryan Stalker posted these pictures of the wayward Baldwin County trash can on Facebook, and the reaction was instant. Baldwin County officials believe it was swept away during Hurricane Sally in 2020, but the Warren serial number makes it impossible to identify the owner. Now, this trash can sits in Stalker's front yard in England as he searches for a responsible way to recycle this piece of Alabama that's already lived an extraordinary life. Well, this Friday, the Condé Cavaliers kick off the 2026 Carnival season, and one extraordinary band is ready to dazzle the crowds with some incredible music. Yeah, these are the electrifying sounds of the Jazz Studio. They are mentored by the legendary Excelsior Band, well known here in the Port City. The program is for students in the 6th through 12th grades with at least a year of music instruction. We witnessed their phenomenal talents firsthand at the Keep the Music Playing inaugural gala in November. Be sure to look out for the Jazz Studio Friday night during the Condé Cavaliers Parade, which starts at 6:30 on Route A. Former Faith Academy star Colin Lacey is home in Mobile to play in the Panini Senior Bowl this weekend, and his old school gave him a hero's welcome. He was a standout running back who led the Rams to their first playoff win in 2019, a legacy Faith Academy never forgot. They retired his jersey with his family and former classmates cheering him on, and now he's back to showcase his skills in front of NFL scouts. Lacey will compete all week with the national team leading up to Saturday's game. Should be a great one. Thanks for making Fox 10 Midday a part of your morning. Still to come, Chick-fil-A is once again helping you get into the Valentine's Day spirit. Plus, that's not the only restaurant with a special deal. McDonald's is throwing it way back to the 80s with its latest Happy Meal. We've got the details next in your Midday Talkers.
With more details and more angles.
In depth with Sarah Wall, mornings at 9 on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream.
All right, welcome back in. After a lot of social media requests for its return, McDonald's is going vintage and bringing back the popular Changeables Happy Meal from, listen, the 80s.
Starting Tuesday, customers can get a Happy Meal that includes toys that are a lot like Transformers.
So the toys look like menu items but can be turned into other figures like dinosaurs or robots.
The changeable Happy Meal was first introduced in 1987.
And this time around, there will be 16 updated versions of changeables to choose from.
McDonald's says this is a limited run. Super cool, always the cutest little toys that you can get from McDonald's Happy Meals there. I always love it when it is the ones that look like different things at McDonald's.
I was about to say, we were not around for this specific changeable, but I remember growing up, they had some great Happy Meal surprises. Some really good ones.
So, and of course, 80s, I feel like after Stranger Things, everybody thinks about the 80s a lot.
That's true. So this is a really timely time to launch
a very timely time for them to bring that
How old
back.
is too old to get a kid's meal?
I don't get them anymore, but also that's because I need food.
That's true. Listen, I would get it for the changeable. I'm just saying. Well, listen to this. Chick-fil-A plans to spread the love this upcoming Valentine's Day.
The fast food chain says it's bringing back its heart-shaped trays.
Oh, they're so good. Trays come in multiple varieties, including nuggets and, of course, brownies.
The heartfelt promotion runs until Valentine's Day.
And trays can be purchased in store or through the Chick-fil-A app. Yesterday, I was saying that Waffle House is the best place for Valentine's Day, but I think I might need to change my answer because I love a good nugget tray.
Waffle House is a great option. But if somebody presented me with Chick-fil-A and the sauces.
What would you pick?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, would you pick Waffle House or Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. I mean, okay. Chick-fil-A, if like we were doing like an in the house, like just go get it, bring it in, sit down. Waffle House, we're going to Waffle House. That's
true. Waffle House has the atmosphere, the vibes. Can't beat it.
Yes.
I agree. They're both great in their own way. Well, football fans throwing a party for the big game may be spending a lot more on food this year.
A new Super Bowl food report from Wells Fargo says it will cost about $140 to feed 10 people for the big game this year. Oh, wait, only 140?
A person, like for the entire bill? Well, that number is actually an increase from last year's $138 estimate. I feel like that's not that expensive.
According to the report, the cost of the popular Super Bowl party dish chicken wings is down 2.8% from last year.
Good news. Meanwhile, the United States Department of Agriculture says the price of beef has increased and now averages a little more than $10 a pound.
Okay, the report also found that some vegetables are seeing as high as 4% increases in price.
And the USDA says that the price of dips has risen as high as 1.7%. $140 doesn't sound horrible for a group of people.
For yeah,
I'm hosting a Super Bowl party, and I just want to say I would love to have that price tag for my party.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really expensive if you're trying to go out for a Super Bowl. I mean, every single time I've done something like this, it is like, oh, there's a lot of people, and it's just a lot of money that you have to spend.
And I remember the years you could go out to Aldi or Walmart and get a Super Bowl party price for like $50. You know what I mean? Seriously,
I mean,
everything's cheaper.
You would have to do some magic to make that happen.
Absolutely, especially nowadays. Well, thanks for staying with us on Fox 10 Midday. Nick, we're taking a live look where?
Daphne, this is a Hampton Inn camera. Lovely clear sky out there. Some clouds roll in overnight tonight. I'll look at that forecast and a bitter cold forecast for the weekend coming out.
Sierra heavy duty models. We are professional grade.
Welcome back. An incredible high-flying feat was pulled off in Dubai as a team of fearless skydivers sailed straight through the middle of a skyscraper. Jeremy Roth has this story in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at an amazing team of skydiving wingsuiters as they fly through the eye of the world's tallest hotel. Wait a minute, haven't I seen this somewhere before? Oh yeah, there was a similar scene in one of the Transformers movies. You know, the bad one. No, the other bad one. But while that high-flying feat was the stuff of CGI movie magic, this one was all too real, pulled off by a team of elite wingsuit athletes from ex-Dubai, who after dozens of practice jumps took to the air and at speeds of roughly 125 miles per hour threaded the needle by shooting through the so-called keyhole architecture of the Ciel Dubai Marina, the world's tallest hotel. The skydiving stunt was successful and unprecedented. It was also equal parts absolutely incredible and absolutely insane. Slightly less extreme but still executed by a daredevil was this snowboard jump over two people in New York City's Central Park, which was pulled off by the one and only snowboarding legend, Shaun White. But that's not all. The two jabronis who volunteered to get jumped were comedians Shane Gillis and Chris O'Connor. So this snowy show of air was a certified all-star affair. Finally, a not-so-slick snowy stunt in Oklahoma started with a cop who just wanted to get in on some sledding, but went sideways when the officer's sled accidentally plowed right into a bundled-up little girl. Don't worry, Jenkins PD posted the vid and said no one was hurt. The little girl is even seen in a subsequent video, no worse for wear. The only casualty was likely the Popo's pride, after scores of Facebook users gave him a ribbing with comments like, "Citizens arrest, assault with a sledly weapon." For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That was a hard fall, too. That's crazy.
Took her out like a bowling pin. Look at your final forecast here. Out the door, temperatures are still chilly. We're in the upper 40s this afternoon with a northwest wind around 5 miles per hour. Let's look at this futurecast. You know, I really didn't look at it a ton early on when I was forecasting early today. I saw this and I'm kind of like, meh, but it's interesting. So tonight we have an upper level trough that is pushing across the area. And the upper level trough will lead to some clouds that will develop. And those clouds might squeeze out a snowflake or two for tomorrow morning. So that's the forecast model. Notice how about 90% of the area has just cloud cover, but the model tries to squeeze something out. Understand that our air is pretty dry. So odds of something like this happening seem to be pretty low, but the HRRR is a good forecast model, so we're going to keep an eye on it, but I would not bank on anything. Don't go sharing this on social media like crazy. Don't go telling your friends. No, calm down. But tomorrow looks fantastic with temperatures that are in the 50s, so it's going to be nicer. All right, this is rough for the weekend. 20 degrees on Saturday, 17 on Sunday. A system rolls through with some rain on Friday, and then boom, here we go with way down there. We're in the freezer this weekend, so Senior Bowl. It's going to be cold.
All right. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday with us on this Tuesday morning. We will see you on Fox 10 Live at 3.